Once upon a time, you were a happy, fragile sack of bits and bobs, but you were stuck on the worst rock in existence. And the next thing you know, poof, you're a glorified toaster with trust issues, cold metal body, glowing green eyes, and a personality that got slurped up by space vampires. Immortality, you got it in spades. Free will, not so much. A purpose beyond war? Forget about it, but at least you're not Lindsay Lohan's toilet, right? But you know, the worst part about all of this is that you didn't even get an extended warranty for your soul. So let's break it down. Why does it suck so much to be a Necron? The galaxy's longest, least fun afterlife. So let's rewind a bit. Before you became an undying machine, before you lost your soul, before the war that broke the galaxy, what was life in the Necrontyr homeworld actually like? Well, congratulations, you spawned on the worst planet friggin' imaginable, a place so wretched if there was a contest for the most miserable place to be born, this rock wouldn't just win, it would break the trophy over your head and laugh while you bled out. Like I said, Lindsay Lohan's toilet. Okay, let's talk about the sun. On most worlds, the sun's a giver of life, warmth, and prosperity. Here it's nothing but a merciless executioner. A bloated, angry star vomiting out deadly radiation in every direction, blanketing your entire world in an endless storm of sickness and decay. It doesn't shine, it hates. Every second you exist under its gaze is a countdown to radiation sickness, organ failure, and ultimately an early grave. The air wasn't toxic, it was actually hunting you. The land? Less fertile ground, more mutated graveyard. You didn't live here, you endured it. And the worst part, you weren't some clueless caveman rubbing sticks together. Your people were brilliant. You built cities that pierced the sky, harnessed impossible technology, and mapped the stars. And yet, you still died. Too fast, too soon, too unfairly. But then, you find them. The old ones, basically space gods who shaped the galaxy like a giant cosmic Minecraft server. And here's where their rage truly sets in. You see, while you and your homeboys are over there rotting alive on your irradiated hellscape death trap of a planet, the old ones are out here shaping the cosmos untouched by death. Ancient godlike beings that could bend reality like, I don't know, it was Play-Doh. Like they could live for eons without aging, and they created entire species like it was a side hobby. Meanwhile, you're over there dying of cancer at 35. So, naturally, you and your people weren't just mad, you were consumed by cosmic level bitterness and a vendetta so intense it would fuel an entire war. So you did what any reasonable species would do. You built an entire empire fueled by sheer unhinged spite and hatred. For centuries, maybe even millennia, you mastered stellar engineering, terraforming, and weapons technology, anything that could buy you more time, and yet, you still aged, you still withered, you still died. So in your infinite wisdom, you decided, if we can't live forever, let's take down the ones who can. And that was the biggest mistake in your miserable history. Because in the grim darkness of the past, you really should have read the fine print on cosmic vengeance. You've spent your entire existence cursed by mortality, watching your people suffer, wither, and die while the universe shrugs and moves on, completely uninterested in your tragic backstory. Welcome to the pilot episode of Friends. Anyway, you built great cities, mastered tech so advanced it makes lesser species look like toddlers smashing rocks together, and you mapped the stars like you were collecting stamps. And for what? No matter how brilliant you were, your body was still running on an expiry date. But then, finally, like a glimmer in the darkness, like wet naps after eating Taco Bell, an opportunity presents itself. A chance to cheat death itself. Would you hesitate? Hell no, dog, of course you don't. You've earned this. And after everything that you've endured as a species and you've been through, how could you not grab fate by the literal throat and demand a refund? And you know, for the first time in your species' history, you saw a future where you weren't fighting just to exist. A future where you could build, explore, thrive, and all you had to do was say Yes. Enter the Catan, cosmic loan sharks with the charisma of used car salesmen and the appetite of black holes. Hey kid, you want to buy some immortality? No more sickness, no more suffering, no more watching your people die. Just one easy payment of your entire soul. No refunds. Hell yeah, mister, sign us up! Because why not? What could possibly go wrong, you sweet summer child? So you thought this was a jackpot. So you and your people, you lined up in front of the great biotransference forges, ready to upload your very existence like installing yourself onto Windows 95. But in your naive little circuits, you thought this was the start of your glorious ascension into immortality. Not the cool kind. Not the godlike, all-knowing, bending reality to your will kind. No. You got the malfunctioning office printer that refuses to die kind. The Silent King promised salvation. The Catan whispered sweet reassurances. Every single Necrontyr stepped forward, ready to be reborn into a new, perfect form. And then you felt it. The machines roared to life, and at first it was a pull, a strange tingling sensation, like maybe I shouldn't have eaten that, or should it burn when I pee? Oh, and then the tearing began. Your body was ripped apart molecule by friggin' molecule. But as bad as that sounds, it wasn't even the worst part. Because see, your soul, the last fragile remnant of you, was devoured. The lucky ones, the posh nobles, the dominating overlords. Yeah, they got to keep a little something. A tiny flicker of memory. A whisper of who they once were. But the rest of y'all, mindless, soulless drones marching to war forever, the eternal Monday shift from hell. You had escaped death. Congratulations, bucko! But at a cost far worse than dying ever could be. Welcome to Necron, because you've lost the very thing that makes you alive. Your thoughts aren't yours. Your actions, well, they're not yours either, buddy. Your very existence is dictated by a set of commands written before most of the galaxy even existed. You can't dream. You don't question anything, buddy. You don't even have the luxury of rebelling because that function was deleted from your programming millions of years ago. But there was no turning back. The process is irreversible. The Necrontyr were no more. You were Necron now. But hey, at least you couldn't die now, right? Okay, so naturally the first thing you'd want to do would be to kill the people who did this to you. But that really wasn't an option. See, they had enslaved you dumb butts completely. There was no escape, no resistance, no hope. Your new bodies? Completely indestructible. Your new minds? Bound to a single purpose. Your new reality? Endless friggin' war. And you know what? Your new masters pointed at the old ones and said, "Sick 'em, boys." And so, you did. The entire Necron legions tore across the stars, an unstoppable tide of death and annihilation. The old ones, those smug, arrogant gods who had once looked down on you, they panicked, and they threw everything at you, including the kitchen sink and explosive nervous diarrhea. Reality itself twisted as the old ones fought back. They bent existence, conjured nightmares into flesh, and threw entire species into battle just to slow you down. And good for them, because it worked. Until it didn't. Cause see, you never stopped. Your body couldn't tire, your mind couldn't break. They bent the laws of reality to stop you, and you bent them right back. And one by one they fell. The gods who had cheated death, you erased them. It should have been a moment of triumph, a galactic mic drop. But that's when the Necron Overlord had a horrifying realization. Hey, wait a minute. If they could betray the old ones, what's stopping them from betraying us, you guys? Well, spoiler alert, they were totally planning to do exactly that. So, in what was probably the greatest backstab in Warhammer history, you and your fellow Necron overlords turned on the Catan. Oh, and you didn't just kill them, did you, boo? No, you shattered them. The gods who had enslaved you, who had devoured your souls and used your bodies as weapons, They were torn apart, broken into countless shards, and locked away in Tesseract prisons for all of eternity. So hell yeah, victory bitches! The end! Roll credits, directed by Michael Bay. Except now you had a new problem. The war was over. The Catan were broken. The old ones were gone, and you had nothing left. Your entire empire, ruins. Your people were soulless husks, and you had no reason to exist anymore. So, in his final moment of regret, the Silent King gave the last order of the Necron race. Enough of this, friends. Go to sleep. We'll wake up when the galaxy sucks less. And so for 60 million years, the Necrons hit snooze on the universe. So 60 million years later, the alarms go off. You wake up expecting a glorious empire that has miraculously unscrewed itself. Instead, the galaxy's on fire. Your empire? Boom, shattered. Your fellow Necrons glitching like bad Wi-Fi at a McDonald's. Oh, and the galaxy, now full of pests. The Imperium of Man. A cult of lunatics worshipping a corpse. The Eldar. Still smug, still alive, still the worst.
The Tyranids. Space locusts with an eating disorder.
And the orcs?
Still rotting, still multiplying, making babies. It's still super hard to kill.
And you, still soulless, immortal, and bored out of your damn mind. So here you are, a timeless warrior of an empire that barely exists. Doomed to march, fight, and wait in silence for orders that you never asked for. You wanted to escape death? Congratulations! You did it, but at what cost? You're never gonna truly die. You're never gonna truly rest. You're never gonna dream again. You are a machine, haunted by memories of life you can never reclaim. Meanwhile, the galaxy moves on. The Imperium fights its endless wars. The Eldari sulk about their past mistakes. And the smart orcs, man, they're living it up and having the time of their lives. And you? Well, you're stuck. Eternal. Unchanging. Forgotten. And now you know what it's like to have your life stolen and to be forced to fight in an endless war. But what if the Imperium chose your fate instead? Find out why it sucks to be Titus, a fearless warrior taken as a child, reforged by the Imperium, and turned into a weapon of friggin' war.